The Horse Project is a large-scale outdoor permanent art installation, which consists of an ever-growing number of white hobby horses that are hung through the trees in the woods in southern Rensselaer County in New York State. It all began when my wife gave me a beautiful old hobby horse for my birthday one year. At the time, we were living in downtown Albany, a very urban setting, and I ended up hanging that horse from the ceiling of our kitchen. I liked the way it looked arcing from the refrigerator over the sink. When we moved to Rensselaer County, it just seemed like a natural progression to bring the horse outside, and so I did, hanging it from a branch of a tree for a party we had back in 1995. It grew from 6 horses in 1996 to 13 in 97. By 2003, there were approximately 39 horses up in the trees, but there are still 7 or 8 more than that could be up by the end of the summer. It's actually harder to find the time to hang them than it is to go out and find them these days. The project continues to grow, and we have about 10 acres of property, about 9 of which are woods, so this installation could theoretically go on for quite some space, quite some time, and a considerable number of horses. It's not that complicated a process, actually. I try to recycle as many parts as I can from the actual hobby horse, including the metal frames, the springs, eye hooks, and wooden dowels. I buy the horses at yard sales or find the horses somewhere, or friends give them to me. I have a painting line that stretches across a portion of the backyard where I hang the horses to prepare them. Cover over the holes where the wooden dowels go through, cover those up with duct tape, and then paint the horses white and let them dry. And while they're drying, I get out the extension ladder and run a line of braided metal wire from one tree to another, using eye hooks from the hobby horse, and also using a spring from the hobby horse. The spring is important, as I've come to find, because the trees sway quite a bit in the windy weather, and you need a bit of give and take to the line. Otherwise, the wire will pull right out of the tree. And then, climbing up the ladder, I attach the horse to the guy wire that goes across with a fishing line, which I've continued to upgrade almost annually. Now I'm using 80-pound fishing line. I believe when I started, I was using 30 weight. Since it's a permanent installation, I leave it up all winter long, and the first couple of years, every spring, I would have to go out and rescue all of the fallen horses, and of course, most of them had fallen over the course of the winter. But once I got up to around 50 or 60-pound fishing line, it all seemed to work a little better. Now that I'm up to 80-pound line, I would say I'm at about a 95% success rate at weathering the winter. Of course, maybe that's just because it's a less than severe winter last year. It didn't start out to be an art project. It just started out to be something I wanted to do. But as the years have gone by, it's become something of an obsession, and spent considerable time scouring nearby garage sales looking for hobby horses and setting them free in the trees. I think what the Horse Project really is about is freedom, at least for me. These horses have ridden across suburban driveways and rec rooms for many years and have become obsolete, at least to the families that used to own them. Now I take them, and I paint them white, and I set them up in the wind in the forest, and I let them ride up over the crest. Traditionally, I know that horses have come to symbolize power. Even in the 21st century, we measure cars by horsepower. But to me, it's not about power. It's about freedom and grace and beauty.